Little one man, Gelert Solo. So being as the temperature is going to drop down to minus, down in the zeros tonight, I thought I might give it a go. And I'm quite surprised at how small it is. I thought I might as well have a go at testing out my B&Q sleep mat. So, there's my sleeping bag. I've got a sleeping bag, two sleeping bags actually. One opened up on top of another one. And down the bottom there, my B&Q sleep mat. See how it does tonight. Give it a bit of a test run. Now I'm 5'10", and I just about squeeze into this thing. If you're any taller than that, I wouldn't bother with one of these. It's going to be a tight fit. But what more do you need, eh? Just to get out of the rain for the night. It's definitely not a luxury spread yourself out tent. It is more like a tent cum bivvy bag type thing. And could do with being a little bit longer. But still, there you go. Give it a blast tonight. See how it fares up. Okay, it's time to get in the tent and go to sleep. Time for bed. Not had any fire going. As you can see, the outside of the tent is sparkling cold. Hey, it's already sparkling in the frost. It's about 11 PM and temperature's going to drop tonight. So, early days yet. It's also layering on the inside of the tent. There you go. Okay. I've hung that little thermometer on the outside of the tent so I can check the how cold it gets later, if I could be bothered. I can tell you, I am definitely struggling for space in here. Okay. My head's touching the fly chute at the top there. My toes are hitting the fly chute at the top. Can't lift my knees up. That. See what I mean? Can't lift the knees up without touching the top of the tent. If you're about 5 foot, I reckon you'd be alright. This ain't going to be easy. Might be alright on my side all night. You definitely wouldn't want to share this space with a large bag. The frost is on the inside of the tent, so I don't really want to push the fly sheet into the tent. So I can get some sleep now. Packthesack out. It's not as if I need any training for sleeping in cold, frosty conditions. I I got a lot of training like that from when I was a boy. I used to wake up in the morning and the window was covered with thick frost and icicles hanging down from the window ledge. And that was behind my bed. Thick frost on the inside of my bedroom window, with a big pool of ice on the window ledge, and a couple of big massive icicles hanging down the back of my bed. So, I've had enough experience in sleeping in the cold without even going outside. K-Bar's in the other tent over there. Let's see how it goes, eh? Packthesack out. No noise. Got another Packthesack story for you before I go to sleep. Packthesack bedtime story. I had a hard time with a lot of people once, with most people, because basically I believed everybody talked crap, and I couldn't find anybody who didn't want to talk crap. So I ended up on a bike. I had a little bike, you know, one of those little bikes with the little wheels and a rack on the back. I used to strap my stuff on this little rack at the back and sleep in various parks and places around Birmingham. And the winter came in and it got very cold. And I was always searching around then, trying to find warm places to sleep. And the one night I got into where was it? Moseley Rugby Club. And I tried sleeping on the benches around the side of Moseley Rugby Club, and that was too cold. And at that time, Moseley Rugby Club, I don't know why, they got some porter cabins parked around the side of the pitch. And just walked around the porter cabins, not expecting one of them to be open. And sure enough, one of them was open. And I went in. Now, a few days before, I decided to be honest and not be deceitful, not to steal, you know, that normal sort of stealing that everybody does when they think, oh, I'll just help myself to a bit of that, it won't matter. Or when you're at work, you think, oh, I just had a few numbers, a couple of hours on here, a couple of hours on there, you know, sort of. But I decided not to be deceitful anymore, and I decided not to drink. That night was absolutely freezing, and all I had was a sleeping bag, and I think it was, what did I have? A synthetic sheepskin coat, which I used to put underneath a sleeping bag to try and form some sort of barrier between me and the cold ground. Put on all my clothes, get in the sleeping bag. So I put my bike in, and it was absolutely freezing. There was nothing in this porter cabin. It was bare and it was freezing cold. And I decided to just lay my stuff out on the hard floor and go to sleep. But before I did that, I decided to have a look around, and there was a door at the back of the porter cabin, and I opened it and stepped through. And in a little storeroom at the back of the porter cabin, there was just so much booze. There was crates of whiskey and crates of wine and crates of bottles and crates of everything you could think of. And they must have stored them there for some occasion that was going to happen concerning these porter cabins. And I thought, whoa, yeah. And I thought, no, hang on a minute. Okay. You made your promise. Yesterday. So, okay, then being as I made that promise, I won't be greedy. I'll just take a bottle of whiskey, and because the night is so cold, it'll get me through the night. I can't see anything wrong with that. And I might take a bottle of wine for tomorrow to cheer me up as well. So I thought I was being good, and I took one bottle of whiskey out, rubbed my hands together, because I realised that this will put me to sleep, and I wouldn't lie shivering and not being able to get to sleep all night. This would help me get to sleep. But then I remembered my promise. And my promise was to God. And I looked out the window and I looked at the clear starry sky and the beauty of it, and the frost and the beauty of the frost. And it was cold, but it was okay. And I wouldn't have the whiskey, and I wouldn't have the wine, and I would stay true to the decision that I'd made, and not have them. So I put them back in the storeroom, shut the storeroom door, and got into my sleeping bag, and slowly but surely managed to get to sleep. And it was cold, and it was difficult, and the floor was hard and cold, and it was a bit of a topsy-turvy night, but I got some sleep. But I slept with a sound heart. I slept feeling good. Packthesack out. Morning. Well, I can tell you that the smallness of this tent leads to an extremely uncomfortable night. 7 a.m. and I'm gonna get up now, and I'm glad to do so. See you in a minute. So there we go, the Gelert Solo. An extremely small tent. It's just too small for me, and I'm 5'10", and I should say it'd be too small for a lot of people. The only good thing about it really is its weight, 1.5 kilogram. If you want to do the minimalist thing, I suppose it's okay, but you're not going to be able to cook in there or anything. You're going to have problems getting a bag in there. It is just incredibly snug. If you like walking around in shoes that are too small for you, it's that kind of feeling, and it doesn't make for a good night. Okay. Good thing to report though is the B&Q sleep mat did the job. The Packthesack B&Q sleep mat did the job, and I slept just straight on top of it with a sleeping bag over the top, and it was good. So I'm quite chuffed with that. Great stuff. But unless your name is Harry Houdini, I forget it. Packthesack out. Sleep mat's good.